What is up YouTube, and today we actually have a video that I haven't actually made in quite a while, and that is a should you pull for the Mystic banner. And we're going to be talking about this mostly because this banner features 4 ML 5-star units, and we actually have Navy Captain Landy. It is her first rerun since her release, and I really want to talk about this banner because 1, Navy Captain Landy's on this banner. She's a fan favorite, she's very strong, and a lot of people are wondering about what I think about her. And 2, because we actually have some other units that are alongside her that are pretty decent, right? We have like ML Flam, very strong as a CC'er, stun bot. We have Martial Artist Ken, very good as a counter to crit units. And we also have Little Queen Charlotte, who just got buffed, who is of course very good into dark units, including Abyssal Euphine. Also, we actually have a new ML 4-star in Wandering Prince Sid. He actually looks like an insane bomb unit. You'll see his S3 is a non-attack bomb plan on all enemies with decreased speed, which will then detonate, so it will stun them, and they have decreased speed, so you'll lap them. And you can see that he looks pretty strong because of his S2 passive, which will also actually be able to CR push back the enemy as long as an ally uses an AoE attack, which will make him very good with Rand to actually stop counter openers. So just a lot of units here. We definitely want to talk about all of them. Let's actually talk about the ML 5-stars first. So the first one we're going to talk about is none other than Navy Captain Landy. Navy Captain Landy, extremely powerful, right? She has ramping damage in her S2. She has critical hit resistance buff for your entire team, which makes her very good against cleave. She also has critical hit resistance built in, going up to 70%, which is insane. And she also is immune to stuns and sleeps, so just super strong in her passive. Her S1 does a ton of damage. It CR pushes her, gives her a chance to AoE attack, which will also heal her, so she has built-in sustain. And we also have her S3 if you actually get to 100 Fighting Spirit after S1ing 4 times. This AoE attack will pretty much one-shot the enemy side. It's super strong. It hits like a truck. It is basically your full win condition with ML Landy. ML Landy, guys, still super strong. Sure, there are counters like, Midnight Galvilius, and also like Lone Crescent Bologna, and even Lionheart Sirmia. But however, I still think Navy Captain Landy is pretty much a must-have unit. If you don't have her, you definitely want her. She's super strong for PvP. Even though she has some counters, you can still use her. In fact, she can even win against her counters a lot of the times because she has so much RNG built in. The only thing is you really want to make sure you have her on a good counter set, and you pretty much need her on Elbrus. Now, you don't need it maxed out. You can run it on a plus 15 one. It'll be 15% instead of 20, but this makes it so that you have the max amount of times or chances to actually counter, and you wanted a counter to actually build up her fighting spirit, because that's how you win, just by pretty much getting your S3 off. So super strong in PvP. She's actually pretty strong in PvE as well. You can use her in a lot of expeditions as a tank. She has a ton of damage, and just overall in PvE, she's a solid damage dealer tank that has built-in sustain, just very strong as a jack-of-all-trades knight in the front line who's very bulky and also can do a ton of damage. So definitely a must-have unit. She's still an S-tier unit in the meta for PvP, and she is pretty dang good for PvE. I'd say like A-tier, S-tier even. So definitely one of the best units to have on your account just out of every unit, because she's so strong and so flexible. And sure, people say, yeah, she can get countered by other units, but she can still win against those counters, and she shuts down cleave just by herself, which is pretty insane. Next, let's talk about Little Queen Charlotte. So Little Queen Charlotte, pretty good unit in countering dark units. She actually recently got buffed. Basically, you S3 your dark unit, extincts them now, which is very good against Abyssal Euphine. She also has crit chance from her Imprint Concentration, which makes it so that she's easier to build. Pretty much only going to be like an Abyssal Euphine counter, because yeah, she is very good against dark units. Of course, you can pick her into other ones like Meteor Cowrick and like, just other ones in general. But for the most part, because Abyssal Euphine is the most prevalent dark unit, I'd say, she's pretty much only going to be used into her. The only thing is that you need to build her on high damage, and you kind of want her a bit bulky so that she doesn't just die. So her speed isn't going to be that high. Her base speed is actually pretty low. So because of that, you need a unit to support her, usually like Auxiliary Lots or Amelia, or even like a mid. You need to actually support her to actually help her take her turn. But if you actually pick her in the right circumstances, she is very good. Now, I think she's only really good in Guild Wars offense, to be honest. In RTA, it's pretty hard to make her work because you need to actually draft around her. Of course, you can still pick her. She is still pretty good. But just keep in mind that she gets shut down by like cleave and stuff like that. Very aggressive comps, very hard. So you actually have to be careful about that. Next, let's talk about Martial Artist Ken. So this guy got buffed, very strong. He's actually super strong in Guild Wars defense, because you'll see when an ally, except for the caster, suffers a crit, he will counterattack and then pretty much one-shot squishy units with this. So it makes him very powerful. He also has this S3 to actually defense break and give him attack buff, which makes him super strong. Just a super powerful unit. Definitely one of the best units to counter Navy Captain Landy and just crit users in general. The only thing is, yeah, he gets completely destroyed by Little Queen Charlotte, who we just talked about, and also Savior Aiden. So because of that, he isn't like super OP, right? He's just pretty strong at what he does. So you have to keep in mind that he does have some counters. Now, do I think he's better than Navy Captain Landy? Definitely not, but I do think he's better than Little Queen Charlotte because he does have more uses. But, you know, still kind of a niche unit that has some drawbacks. Now, if we talk about Pyro Captain Flam, this unit I actually am going for. I actually don't have her, but she's very strong because she has bombs. She has, you know, CR push for her team with her S2. She has an S3 to actually give everyone burns and bombs and also decrease CR, which is super annoying. She has this S1 to actually steal buffs, which is very nice. But the biggest thing is at the end of the turn, you'll detonate burns and bombs. Now, she's very good if you actually pair her on this certain artifact from Summertime Seria's banner, which is going to be, if I can find it, why can I not see it? Here it is. It is Star of Deep Sea. You'll see basically when you make a non-crit after using a basic skill, you have a chance to plant a bomb. And this is very good on, what's it called? Not this guy, Pyro Captain Flan, because you're going to see that she cannot trigger a crit, which is going to work. It'll always work with the S1 then. And when you S1, you land the bomb, and then you detonate it right after, which makes it so that it's just a one-turn stun that does a ton of damage. So it's very good with her, very powerful. Without that artifact, you can't really play her. So if you don't have that artifact, I probably wouldn't get her, just because Summertime Seria's banner won't be for a while. Actually, it's summer soon, so maybe it'll come back. But anyways, she needs that artifact to work. So also a niche unit that's good at locking down slow, tanky teams. But outside of that, you know, not really used for anything else. Overall, out of these 4 ML5 star units, I think Navy Captain Landy is the best to go for. I think Martial Artist Ken is probably the second best. And then below that, we have Pyro Captain Flan and also Little Queen Charlotte that are both, you know, pretty good as well, but not comparative to, I guess, Navy Captain Landy, right? Now for Wandering Prince Sid, very good cleave unit, it looks like. He's going to synergize very well with Pyro Captain Flan, actually. So if you like cleaving and you like to use bombs, you definitely want him and also Pyro Captain Flan. But besides that, I don't think you'll use him outside of cleave. He does look very strong in cleave, though, because this non-attack skill bomb that puts a stun up with the detonation and decreased speed, and the fact that he can actually, you know, decrease the CR of an enemy if like a Rand goes for you, or even like the another AoE attack user. Pretty annoying, so I think he'll be a very strong addition to any bomb cleave lineup. Yeah, these are my personal thoughts on this banner. Of course, most likely after this banner, we'll have a new ML 5-star, whether it'll be like Senya or Luna, what people are speculating. Most likely what you guys want to do is actually wait until near the end of this banner and see what the new teased ML 5-star is. And if it ends up being really OP, obviously you don't want to pull in this banner, just save your mystics and pull for the next one. If you see that the next banner is, you know, not that strong, then of course you can just go all out on this banner and pull for like Navy Captain Landy. So just keep in mind, if you guys pull for this banner, that we do have a new ML 5-star coming out in the future. And we don't know if it'll be very strong or not, but I advise that you wait near the end of this banner after it gets teased or released to actually pull for it. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. Let me know in the comments down below what unit you're going for, and I'll see you guys next video.